Okay, we'll give it a little bit. See if I get anybody in here. Hey, we do got somebody in here. Mr. Ron Fenn is in here. Yep, I see that. Well, anyhow, at least it's somebody, right? And so, yeah, this is going to be a controversial topic, okay? But it's something that either people are going to be willing to do and they have to do, or you're not going to stop a damn thing. Hello, Mr. Corey. How are you doing? Long time no hear. Yes, sir. I hope you're okay. Anyhow, yeah, it's been a while since we've talked, Corey. But yeah, you see, I got this picture of this stuff, the tool. You know, this is the real reason we're all staying enslaved. This is the real reason that everything that's going on is going on. Because so many people can't get above the fact that this is your enslavement. What you're looking at is your enslavement. Because you've allowed psychopaths to own and control all forms of what you're looking at. And so many people have sold out. That's right. For that right there. That's all they're concerned about. That's all they care about. That's all they're concerned about, and they don't understand. This is actually what's allowed NWO to get where it's at today. This is what's allowed Agenda 21 to come in. This is what's allowing it to continue to thrive. And it is what's going to bring this country down and every other country right behind it. And it is what's going to allow history to replay itself, which it's already doing. Most people just can't see that's actually what's taking place. They're unable to see it. They think this is over. Well, think about it. What have I told people before? From the very first sports arena that was ever created to putting the mindset of each other is to compete against each other. And then to create a system that's constructed as it is to where, well, to be successful, you have to have what? What's that picture of? Yeah. You have to have lots of it to be considered successful, right? And then based on that very man-made construct, well, we get to have little power trips and we get to think that we're above somebody else. And we get to think that people who have more of this than somebody else is somehow superior to the other people below them when they're not. When they're not, never have been. But you can't get people past this construct right here in front of you, the tool, the monetary system. And when you're looking at all the evil that's coming into our world, and you realize this is how they got here. This literally is the reason that they've gotten where they're at right now. Because they couldn't have done it any other way. You know, to create a society that everything you ever have, including shelter and food, survival things, you have to have that. You have to have that tool right there. And then to create a hierarchy based on that tool, which is all a man-made construct to begin with, okay? Has nothing to do with real survival. It has nothing to do with nothing other than control. 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 And of course, because we all have that mindset of competing against each other, where does that lead us? It leads us to where we're at right now. That's right. Look around the tubes, just on the tubes. How many people are doing everything under their power? You click on their more underneath their video, like high impact flicks, and you're witnessing mini Alex Jones. You know, in many years back, several years back, when I had military outside my door, green light coming through my window, my Skype signal in the middle of a conference scrambled, okay? Yeah, digital platform scrambled by an analog. I don't say that's not possible because it is possible, but the technology is not in the hands of the people. It's in the hands of the military industrial complex, of course. And who do you think was outside my door? Military. Who do you think went over to Germany and shoved same light through their window as they did mine? At that time, when that person don't even post videos on YouTube. Yeah, same thing. But you're looking at the cause right here. And you want to talk even back then, it was when I called out Kathy Rubio and Roy Potter and Rev Michelle Hopkins that I ended up at the feds at my door. And so this morning I'm listening to Roy Potter, and I don't listen to this guy because this guy put on a big psyop phony act back then. And he was running. That's right, he was running from the feds. He was running because he was exposing the truth and he was on the run and they were chasing him. And so he was literally on the run. Okay? TV stations and all were going down. That's right. They were going to be closed down. They were going to be shut down. There's going to be no TV. All communications were going to be cut. Blah, 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 blah. And I exposed these people for who they was. So you had Roy Potter, you had Rev Michelle Hopkins, and you had Rev Kathy Rubio. Okay, you catch the Rev thing. Both of them were supposedly reverends. And Roy Potter's always talking the gospel out of the Bible, isn't he? Yes, he is. And so then it just reminded me of something. And the trees are still running together. They sure are. The only difference is you're not hearing too much from Kathy Rubio, but you're hearing a lot of stuff out of Rev Michelle Hopkins, but you won't recognize her as being Rev Michelle Hopkins because she got married and her name became Rev Michelle Mann. And then you won't even recognize her under the Rev Michelle Mann name. Why? Because she created a whole new name. That's right, to throw people off. But she told on herself because I know the voice like the back of my hand. Oh, yes, I never forgot that voice. Never, ever. Okay, she was actually employed by NASA. She's part of the problem. She is an agent, just like Roy Potter is. Okay, and so what do we have here? We have Roy Potter talking about, yeah, he was watching that video from Headlines with a Voice. Nancy Morganhart. Oh, hold on. Headlines with a Voice. Rev Michelle Hopkins. Rev Michelle Mann. Nancy Morganhart. All one and the same person. Oh, yeah. You can take that to the bank. I know it. I know it in my heart, man, that Nancy Morganhart is actually Rev Michelle Mann if she's still married. Or maybe it'd go back to Rev Michelle Hopkins. But then you have to also question that. Is that even her name, too? But guaranteed, Rev Michelle Mann, okay, / Rev Michelle Hopkins is also Nancy Morganhart. Yep. Headlines with a Voice on YouTube. See, this is the psyop. This is what they do. This is how they do it. They use the Bible. They deceive you into believing they're a faithful believer and all about what's right. And in reality, well, they're leading you down rabbit holes with psyops. It wasn't even that long ago, a couple of years ago, freaking with, Q, okay? Old Roy over there was doing lots of videos on Q. He was right on their side. And now it's, well, no, that's a psyop. No, that was all a lie. And now you don't hear Roy Potter talking about that. No, of course you don't. That was like the lie before the lie. This is why I popped Roy Potter before. And I recognize the voice. It is Rev Michelle, okay, who is playing the role of Nancy Morganhart. Sad, but see, the psyops still continue to go on. The same agents that have been collecting what you're looking at to deceive the public are still there, still doing their deceiving. Sure, they tell a lot of truth. They have to. Because if they didn't tell a lot of truth, they couldn't fool you. But they're not to be trusted, just like Monograph can't be trusted. No. Okay. I hate to say it, but it's like trusting Jim Fetcher, Jason Goodman, Only demigod. All the same thing, all one and the same. Monday, forever on Monday. Okay. There's just so many of them. Turd flinging monkey, Coach Red Pill. These are all employees of the establishment. They're not on your side. The side they're on is the picture you're looking at. That's the side they're on. Brian Young with High Impact Flicks or High Impact Blogs. You know, as much truth as the guy tells, I could take you back about 2.5 years ago, and this guy was not very awake at all, and you could see it in him. And in the last couple of years, man, he's on a high. I mean, he's really super awake now. But he's also very super about the picture you're looking at. He sure is. How do you think they got this invisible thing to go global? How do you think they got all these people on board with a big lie? Right there. What are you looking at? The tool. The root of all evil. The control mechanism. All based on a society that was created and built and promoted. And I mean, everything all goes right back to this. And why wouldn't it go right back to this? After all, to be successful, which everybody wants to be, you had to first have a lot of what's in your face. Yeah. So, and I just can't get this through people's heads. We, the people of this world, have to take the monetary systems away from the current owners. See, the people of a nation should have had ownership over their own monetary system. It should never be a private entity, and you should never, ever, ever have private parties owning a monetary system of an entire nation. That was a big no from the very beginning. But that's exactly what we've had, and that's right. That's exactly why they got where they got, and this is how they got where they got. This is why you'll have Rev. Michelle Hopkins / man / Nancy Morganhart, okay, who are all one and the same person. This is how they were created, right there. What you're looking at, that's how they were created. And I don't know how many people on the tubes recognize or know who Rev. Michelle Hopkins is or Kathy Rubio is, or even in the manosphere who would know who Roy Potter is or Monograph is, but you've got to pay attention, man. There are so many people working for the system, working against you, just like the technocrats up there in Silicon Valley. And what are they doing what they're doing for? Right there. See the picture? That's right. And over this invisible enemy BS that's been going on all year long, when you really pay attention and follow this picture, you'll find out the players have all become even extremely more rich. Yep, while you was losing your businesses and losing your livelihood, they were becoming richer. Yeah, see, this is, like I said, it always has been and always will be the root of all evil. And the only way we can ever stop them is you have to start at the top, because they are the heart of the corruption. It doesn't matter if Silicon Valley people are the heart of the Majah, are at the center of the corruption. They're still not the heart of the corruption. The heart of the corruption is the 13 families that are all bankers, because they own the monetary systems globally. They own them. That's right. And all of you are doing what for that? That's right. And because everything was engineered to be successful, to be more of this, to be more of that, you had to have lots and lots of that. There you go. It's all in your face. I just don't get how people can't see it, and how people have to think they have to keep this. How you think you have to be making lots of this, and you'll do anything to make lots of this to be above somebody else, right? Of course you will. Including selling out your own families and your own children and everything around you and everybody you know. And not caring. You know, and when it costs this picture right here, when it costs the tool, okay, and that's the only reason you're going to be up here. You know how many times I've heard old Brian Young over there at High Impact Blogs, and I've heard him ask and tell people, well, if I don't blah, 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 getting donations, then I'm not know how much longer I'm going to be able to make these videos, guys. Okay, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to speak the truth, guys. Because you understand, I need lots of the Rothschild dynasty's money in order to tell you truth. Even if I don't tell you this truth and we don't stop what's going on, it's gonna destroy my children's future, their children's future, and everybody's future. And it's most likely gonna cause millions of people to die. Well, I don't care as long as I have my happy life and a lot of this first. That comes over everything. Why do you think I called Brian Young of High Impact Flicks the little Alex Jones? Alex Jones Jr. That guy loves throwing subliminal messages with his own shirts that he's selling. He'll have them shirts flashing in your face in front of you while he's telling a story and showing something that's going on in society. And there'll be a shirt one after another just popping up and flashing and popping up and flashing, trying to program you to run over there and give him some of your tool. Yeah. That's what turns me off about him. Totally turns me off. Okay? Totally disrespect him. I cannot have respect for people like this because I don't care how awake you claim to be. When you cannot see that this is the root of why they got where they got, and this is what's running this world by these same families, and you can't see that nations belong owning their own monetary systems and not governments, you know what you need for a government? 4 people. I'll give 4 people per country for a government. That's it. Constantly checked by the people. That's right. And the regular citizens have access to anything and everything they do while they're in that office. That's all you need if you actually have to have a leader. You don't need no more than that. You know, but you fool yourself into believing that you're voting for people when your vote don't count for nothing. All of the people that are put in front of you are selected. They already know who's going to be what, when, where, and how because they're all criminals all in bed together. For what? What you're looking at right here. That's right. It all goes back to this. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It all goes back to this. Every last bit of it goes back to this right here. And the only way you're ever going to stop it is you have to start where the root cause is, the 13 families. You have to take everything they have away from them and lock them up where they belong. And you have to give it back to the people. And you have to shrink your so-called officials down to like 4 per country. Small country too. And that are constantly being monitored and checked by the public on a regular basis. You have to do something that's never been done to take these people out of position. If you don't remove these people from the positions they're in, kiss it. It's over with. You're not going to save nothing. And these people that are up here working for the tool, you know, like Oli Demigard, Jason Goodman, deceiving people for the tool. You know, Jason Goodman lives in the middle of Manhattan in this nice big skyrise that costs one hell of a lot of money. I'm doing good. I'm doing good there. I'm glad to see you're still around there. Yeah, that's the truth this week. I mean, you know, I'm doing as good as I guess can be expected in today's society, right? But man, I just wanted to get up here and talk about this one item because this one item right here is the reason where we're at. It is the reason we have so many agents online. It is the reason the technocrats over there in Silicon Valley, between Google, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, you know. It is the reason, Hollywood. This is what's allowed all the social engineering to take place right here. This picture. This is what allows people to sell out other people for greed, to rise above others and look down on top of others like somehow you became more than a human because you have a man-made thing. Very, very sick. How we've all been turned against each other and pitted against each other from races to genders to everything. All over what? Right here in front of your face. It's not an accident over this last year that the people behind this lie that you think I can go back 31 years on? I can literally show you this lie, this invisible bug goes back 31 years ago. I can show you two different people openly in your face in positions telling you about this before it ever happened. Yep, openly told you it. Right on video. You get to see their body, their face, their everything telling you about it. You can go back to what I think it was 94 and you can look it up. Sylvia Brown wrote a book. She told you about it too. You know that great psychic Sylvia Brown? Yeah, she told you about it too. You know, and it's sad because I see through this shit really good, okay? Unfortunately, I've been doing this for so long that I don't go down rabbit holes as much as I used to anymore. Everybody goes down rabbit holes when I first start waking up. No exceptions to the rule. Nobody's above that. Part of waking up is unprogramming yourself from all the lies you've been told your whole life. Part of waking up is to go down a few rabbit holes, okay? You're not going to get around it. The more when you wake up, the more knowledge you gather, the more you can see through what they're doing, the less rabbit holes you will go down. That is the way it works. And unfortunately, we're there. We're here right now. I mean, yeah, well, you're correct. Digital currency's already here. It's already here. It's already set in place. It's ready to go. All they got to do is give you their lie and roll it out. They've been setting the stage for hunger. That's right, for hunger, for despair, depression, suicide. They've been using weather warfare against you all year long, and you can't see it. And then this is only the start. Hell no, people. You know, you still got people say, "Well, right after election, all this will be over." No, it won't. No, it won't. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse. They're not going to stop now because you've all given up. You've all turned over your power to them. You're putting a diaper on your face. You're complying. You comply with these criminals. They don't just tell you, the old saying about give an inch, they'll take a mile. No, you're talking, these people give them an inch and they'll take 1,000 miles. And that's what they're doing right now is they're taking 1,000 miles. Because so many people are willing to put a diaper on their face. So many people won't look into anything. Nope, ain't got time in your busy life of fluffing stuff to look into stuff, especially when it might scare you. Oh no, you might become scared. Your little feelers might get hurt. Hey, I gave up on that a long time ago, man. You can't bring the manosphere together. I tried. The manosphere don't want to come together. They're too busy competing against one another. They're too busy doing exactly what the elite bankers wanted them to do. They're doing exactly what they want you to do. And even you people who don't have an issue in the dating arena are still freaking doing the same thing, ain't you? Of course, not all of you, but just look around you. Brian Young, I've heard him say it several times that if he don't get his donations, he won't be able to make these videos much longer, guys. He can't tell you truth without getting paid. That's right. Even it would cost his own children, his own grandchildren, their future, and destroy everybody's lives and get millions of people dead. He still can't do it. No, no. I've got to have the Rothschilds' money, man. No, I'm going to bend over and do whatever they say as long as I get my tool fixed. That's what that comes down to. That's why I get frustrated with that shit. That's why I'm against that. Because it is what's keeping us enslaved. And so, well, I could care less about that. You go ahead and keep competing. You just keep doing what the elite want you to do. They programmed you just right. You could just bend over and spread your cheeks because you ain't helping this world. You're helping to bring in what you don't want. And you're not smart enough to figure out you're helping bring in what you don't want. That's the majority. I hate to say it. If you had to come up here on YouTube because you're here for the tool or you're here for fame and subs, sad. Sad. You're complicit. You're part of the reason this country's going down. And you will be just as guilty as the rest that done nothing. I've never once asked anybody for a donation the entire time I've been up here doing this. I've never done this for money. Even when I made the TFL shirts and hats and ink pens, I took that money out of my labor, my money, and I bought and paid for the stuff and I shipped it to people, including paying the shipping, and gave it away. Didn't even charge people shipping for it. Now tell me I'm here for money. Tell me I'm here for the tool or fame. I could care less about it. I just don't care about it. Why should I? That's what's keeping us all enslaved. This is why we're where we're at. And people are too coward. I mean, you got to fit in, right? Yeah. Hate to say that, but is that true? Y'all think you got to fit in? Oh, you'd panic if you thought you were going to be ostracized or not fit in, right? Well, somebody else might think negative of me. Well, I care about what others think about me. Sad. So sad. You got to have tough skin to do this, to speak out. And if you care about everybody in general and you only want what's right for everybody, if you have true care and actually care about what's right and what's wrong, what's going on should anger you to no end. It should make you so mad that you want to stop them. But that's not how it works nowadays, is it? No. It makes you so scared that you bend over and comply. The exact opposite. You can't win, you've already lost. Because if you have to worry about what somebody else thinks of you, you've lost. If you have to have that their tool, you've lost. You've already lost. So it doesn't matter. If you play into the social engineering and think that you had to compete against other people, you've lost. You can't play into any of this and ever win. It's not possible. How do you think they got us where they got us? Many years of social engineering to change your perceptions. The cremation of care to take people's ability to care about anything other than themselves and to be successful. That's right. It's pretty damn sad. But I get very frustrated with this stuff and I keep watching it, I don't know what to tell you, man. I can tell you this. You have to go after the 13 families and then move down the line and take out everybody after that that was complicit and willing to sell out their very own people for that tool and lock them up with the people who own the tool. You have to go after them, and people have to stand together worldwide and go after them. Because if you don't, then it just equals coward and equals you've all lost. You know, you're not going to win. You couldn't win if you tried. You've already lost. You lost at the beginning. You know, if you couldn't even get the manosphere to stand together when they're all these guys are experiencing the same problems, you still want to compete against each other. You still want to use all the wording that is responsible for keeping you in the perception you have. You know, laws of attraction. Oh, that's right. We got laws of attraction. We got, oh, well, you know, it's from 1 to 10, 0 to 10, man. On the looks factor. That's right. Looks, money, stats. There you go. LMS. Looks, money, stats. There you go. Oh, and the sexual market. Your value in the sexual market. That's right. It's a market. That's right. It's supply and demand. That's right. It's all that same mindset that keeps you going down the rabbit hole. You're using the very social engineering that was designed to destroy. You use it and it destroys. What did you think it was going to do? It's no different than all these people that speak up, you know. I get up here and I've spoke many, many, many times on the political end. I've pointed so much out when it comes to Agenda 21, NWO, the whole 9 yards. And I float back over the dating arena because that is the core of NWO, like an amp was a core, or a pair has a core. The dating arena is the core. Always has been the core. The destruction of the family unit, the division of the genders. Helps what? Helps to reduce population. That's right. See, this is about control. This is about not looking out for you. You know, when it comes to that thing that they want to give you, calling it the final solution to this invisible enemy, you know that thing that jabs you, sticks you? Yeah, when it comes to that, well, first off, I look at it for what it really is. Big pharma. That's right. And these peoples like Mr. Gates over there and so on, see, they're protected. They've protected themselves. Because, see, big pharma employees, they won't have to take it. No, they sure won't have to get it. Nope, they're exempt. So's Mr. Gates, so's Mr. Fauci, they're exempt. Oh, they're going to lie to you and tell you they took it when they didn't. They sure are. They don't have a problem with lying to you and telling you they took something they didn't. And they're protected because you can't sue them and you can't prosecute them. That's right. They're above all the laws. You can't sue them. You can't prosecute them. Even if it cripples you for life. Even if it kills you, the family members can't sue. No suing, no lawsuits whatsoever, no prosecution. That's right, they're above all the rules. How did they get there? Well, because we, the people of the world, allowed them to get there. We told them they could. Yes, you did. You said they were exempt. You allowed them to do what they're doing, and you allowed them to pass rules protecting their own selves from the evil they're going to do unto you. It's pathetic. No, we're not. I don't think so, Paul. So no, it is. It's absolutely sickening. It's absolutely pathetic, and I would love to do nothing more but to see us stop this. See the people of this world stop what's going on. But I already know the people of this world won't. You know how I know? You can't even get the manosphere to stand together. They would rather compete against each other. That's right. Oh, it's more funner competing against each other, stepping on somebody's face, kicking them in the side of the head, even though you don't want that to happen to you. Oh, but you get your big old power trip when you're doing it to somebody else, right? That's right. You think you're more of a man because you've done to somebody else, or more of a woman than you've done to somebody else. Even though you wouldn't be able to handle it being done to you, you're willing to do it to somebody else. And you can't figure out why we're not rising and standing together, huh? Well, this would be why, because you're using the mindset of many, many decades of social engineering. You fell right down the rabbit hole. You don't possess critical thinking skills. You're not able to examine stuff. You just want to believe what's fed to you because it would mean you'd have to do a little bit of using a brain cell, right? Oh, then you'd have to grow some gonads, and then you and clits, and then you'd have to be willing to stand together. Oh no, and you might have to not comply. Then somebody might think something of you because you didn't comply. And you know what the mindset of all this your new norm is? See, the new norm's going to finish splitting you up. It's going to divide you. It's going to make you all allergic to each other. You're going to become paranoid of each other. You're not going to be around, want to be around anybody because you'll be too paranoid, too scared that you might get something being next to another person. That's where your new norm's taking you. And I've actually already witnessed it. I've witnessed it right in my face. And that is going to be the new mindset. You're all going to be too scared to be together at all. You're going to be too scared to anything. It'll be what Hayden said a few months ago, dating from afar. That's right, dating from afar. Oh, let me go to my friend's house. Hold on, I got to get online. Oh, there I am. I'm on video chat. Yep, I'm at my friend's house. That's where you're going. That is exactly where you're headed, man. None of this stuff's gonna stop. Oh, I see a lot of bad stuff coming our way. Okay, I really do. A little revolution. I don't know. We're gonna have a revolution. I think what you're gonna have is you're gonna have infighting. You're gonna have division. This is what they want. You're gonna have like a civil war. It won't be a revolution to stand up against your real enemy. No. You all be busy fighting each other and killing each other, and none of you had anything to do with anything. You'll be mad at each other over a spilt milk, glass of milk, over a cookie. They stepped on your cookie, man, and you dropped your cookie. It got broke. Now you're freaking throwing blows at each other over a cookie or a spilt glass of milk. That's what you all be busy doing. You ain't gonna be standing up against the people you need to be standing up against, huh? You're gonna follow your orders, isn't that right? Isn't that what you all do really well? Isn't that what we see going on around us? People following orders, following orders. That's right. All they got to do is scare you. That's not hard to do. All they got to have is a piece of metal on their shirt. All they got to do is say they're from the government. You'll be shaking in your shoes. You'll be doing whatever they tell you to do. And it's sad because you know what you're doing is you're complicit with bringing your own country down and helping every other country fall. You're complicit with giving up all of your rights. You know, I showed you the other day that we have HR 1154 right there in the House right now that's moving in on the First Amendment. Oh, don't worry, you won't have no Bill of Rights or no Constitution whatsoever when they're done. And this is where it's going to come from, man. They're going to come after your second. They've already been after that, but they're after all your rights. They want everything. Everything. And they're going to get it. You know why? You're going to give it to them. You're all going to bend over, shake it in your shoes, and give up everything, ain't you? Then you'll beg them for a slice of bread and a half a glass of water. That's what you do. You'll beg another human being for a slice of bread and freaking a half a glass of water. And you'll promise to do whatever they say when they're just another human being like you and me. The difference is the psychopaths, they're nutcases. They never belong. This is why I said right here, the picture, this is the reason I threw this up here. This is the reason you're where you're at right now. This is the reason your children have no future. Your grandchildren have no future. This is the reason so many are going to die. This is the reason you'll always be a slave. Sad. So sad. And the world don't have to be this way. It's this way because none of you want to do anything about it. And even you people that claim to be awake that's telling truth, when I observe the things I'm observing, you're here for all the wrong reasons. You're not here because you care. You're here because of the picture I'm showing you. That's the only reason you're here. You wouldn't even be here if you fucking, if it wasn't for that, right? And others of you are here because you want to compete against each other, because you want to one up somebody, because you want to be, oh, you want your little bit of internet fame, right? Yeah, that's the other part of you. But the majority of people online ain't doing no good for nothing. They're just they're helping the elite with what the elite want. They're not awake enough nor smart enough to know where to start. You can't get people to stand together to unify with each other. And you can't do it online, even if you could. You got to do it in person. Well, I couldn't do that. There might be a gathering of more than 10. Couldn't do that. We got to be complicit with our enslavement. That's what it was all about. That's what the cremation of care was about. That's right. That's what it's all about. It's keeping you from having real care. It's keeping you from becoming angry. Well, anger's a bad feeling, man. We got to control that. No, anger isn't a bad feeling. Anger is needed at a time like this, and it's needed. But you also got to use your head when you're being angry and not allow the emotions to control you. But the anger will be the first thing that will start you stepping up and fighting back. Without that, you've lost. And that's why I see us. I see us all as, well, what can I say? Give me 1 second. History is replaying itself. And I look at stuff that's going on and I recognize it. History is 100% replaying itself. And even your big major libraries are now proving that too. Because Google, they scanned every book. They were scanning every book for years and putting the entire library digital. The entire library digital, even the library in my own town right here, is still closed. That's right, because they don't want it to be open to the public again. That's right, they can remove stuff from libraries that they don't want you to know anything about. That's what it's really about. It's like the great book burning again. This is literally what's going on right under your nose. The book burning, book burning by not allowing you in libraries. Major libraries not allowed to get into. And then you go online where you can have multiple copies of one book, and then they're going to tell you, well, you're only allowed, if you're doing a digital library, to have one at a time. And they're going to pick what you're allowed to look at, too. Well, of course they are. Because they don't want you seeing the truth. See, history is just replaying itself right in your face. And too many people are just too asleep to realize history is replaying itself right now. And you're in the middle of it. Well, you've got to remember, the man has feared the division amongst the genders from feminism to TFL to MGTOW to MRA, PUA. All of it is a product of NWO, social engineering, divide and conquer, break up the family unit, divide the genders. All of it is a product of that. I've said that for years, but people didn't understand. Yeah, I remember being criticized for having political views by talking about NWO on the same channel I was doing dating scene videos on, and people were getting mad at me because they couldn't understand it and thought I needed to separate them because they didn't want to hear anything on the political end. They didn't want to hear about a conspiracy theory. That ain't a theory at all. It's factual truth. When you're talking about fake news, all you got to do is turn on your TV if you want fake news. All you got to do is look at your leader in chief who's yelling fake news because he is fake news. That man is 100% fake news. Calling people who are telling truth fake. That's the coffee pot calling the kettle black, isn't it? Sure is. And underneath all of your noses, they're moving in after your first right now. They've already got the bill up there in the House to remove your First Amendment. That's right, to take your freedom of speech away from you. And behind that will be the rest. You're about to go into a really dark, nasty winter. You really are. You're about to see lots of major shit take place. You really are, I'm telling you. From food becoming harder and harder to get to the crash of your currency. Now they can totally control you through the digital currency they've already got put in place. So now they can totally control you. Uh-huh. It's what it's about. It's about your complete enslavement, slaves. Because that's what you chose to be, with slaves. None of you wanted to be free. You didn't want to have a place of your own, and a girlfriend, and a wife, and a family, and children, and be able to pick what you want to do for a living and do what you want to do each day. No, you didn't want any of that stuff. You would rather do what somebody else tells you you're allowed to do. And you would rather shut your mouth than maybe take the chance of offending somebody, right? Of course you would. You wouldn't want to offend them. You wouldn't want to hurt somebody's little feelers, would you? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Can't help myself, man. I had to come up here and do this little rant today because I wanted to point this out one more time to you and remind you again. And I don't care who gets mad at me for telling you the real truth. I don't care. If you're mad at me for showing you a picture of what you think you need, you're part of the problem. You're the reason this country's going to fall. You're the reason the rest of the countries will fall. You are the reason these criminals are going to win. You are directly responsible for millions of people's lives being taken. Directly responsible for your children, your grandchildren, your family members, and everybody around you. His life's being destroyed. You're seriously directly responsible. And I don't like saying that to anybody, man, but when you can't pay attention to what's going on and you're too afraid to say something about it and you got to use all the tools they gave you to use, which destroys, and you got to have this picture right here in order to be happy, and you got to rise above somebody else and have more of it so you can look down on somebody and treat them the way you'd never want to be treated yourself. When you're in the manosphere and you can't even get the concept that you belong working together, you belong understanding the root cause and going after the people that created the problem and not the people that had nothing to do with the creating the problem. But nobody wants to do that, right? That means you might have to step up to the plate. You might have to do something. Could get you hurt. Could get you dead. So therefore, you're going to shake in your shoes. What I do now? What I do now? Unreal. Unreal, man. That's why I told you the other day, man. We do not live in the land of the free and the whole, and the home of the brave. We live in the land of the enslaved and the home of the cowards. That's what America is. It's the land of the enslaved and home of the cowards. And I hate to be that way, but it's the truth. And if the truth's hurting you, oh well. Oh well. I can't feel for you. I've been pointing this stuff out forever, it seems like. And why should I feel for people that can't even use their head? Couldn't use one brain cell to use any critical thinking skill with. Couldn't examine what's being told to you and look into stuff for yourself because, well, that'd be too much work. So your new norm is being born right now. It's being brought into its existence. And in the new norm, you're all going to be scared of each other. You sure are. You're all going to be scared shitless of each other. Stay away from me. You might get me sick. That's right. There's your new norm. It's what you all want, right? Don't get too close. Stay that far away. That's your new norm. It's what you all want, right? Well, unfortunately, off the grid, you're right. But people ain't going to be able to pick, well, I want these dead, because now what you're doing is, I understand the feelings, okay? But, that's the mindset they want you to be in. Because if you're in the mindset that, yeah, we should all die, that's exactly what they want. They got you bent over, they got you right where they want you. I'd rather stand up and fight my real enemy back and die fighting them back than I would to fucking just bend over. And I'm not going to fight some nobody that's got the same issue as the rest of us from them. No, that's exactly what they want. They don't want you coming after them. They want you coming after each other, even though each other had nothing to do with it. And they had fucking in them. The them at the top are responsible for the way you're acting. But anymore, it is what it is. I can't change it. I didn't make the problem. I didn't create the problem. And my words fell on deaf ears for so many years, it's not funny. Deaf ears that couldn't comprehend what I was saying, that didn't have enough critical thinking skills, that couldn't look into nothing, that didn't have time to look into anything. But you did have time to open their mouth and run in, right? That's right. You know, when I say that, of course, off the grid, when I say us, or, I'm talking the way I'm talking, you got to remember it's not exclusively 100% across the board, okay? Because there are people within the manosphere that understood what I said, that are awake and do see and do know what's going on. But when you look in the manosphere, there's more that's not than there is what is, if you follow what I'm telling you. There's definitely more that's not than there is that is. And even in the so-called truther community, ain't too many people even there awake enough to realize what they're doing. Not at all. There just isn't. And there's nothing I can do about any of this, man, because, see, I'm just me. I'm on my end years anyhow. But for all of you young guys that still would have a good 40, 50 years of life left, 60 years of life left, whatever, you should want that life. You shouldn't have to worry about what you're going to have to go through, but most of you don't even see it coming until you're already in the middle of it. And then you won't like it, won't want it, but at that point, you're too late. We're pretty much too late right now, I'll tell you that right now. Unless some people are going to start getting serious and start growing some gonads and some freaking clits, and they're going to start really meaning it and start becoming angry and start wanting to get together and talk and find ways. But you're going to have to get together with people in person, and you're going to have to leave your smartphones at home, and you're going to have all your technology away from where you're talking at, because these sick screwballs are listening to everything and anything. They sure are. You couldn't get a resistance together to freaking for the life of you as it is. And then if you could get one together, you have to do it offline and not at home. You have to do it freaking in person. Because it's the only way you ever stand a chance of getting anything like that off the ground. Then you got to be careful with that too. Who you invite in. Or you'll invite somebody in that's only worried about that picture I'm showing you. And they'll set you all up for that picture, for that tool right there. Not smart enough to figure out that we have to take this tool away from its current owners. And we have to give it back to the people. And them people that own this system right now worldwide need locked up. And then you have to go downhill from there. And anybody that was complicit in collecting it to help them get where they got, all are just as guilty. They need locked up as well. You have to go after them all. But you have to start at the top. And you have to work your way down. You don't start at the bottom, work your way up. No, you have to start at the top and work your way down. And military, brainwashed. You get young people right out of high school with no life experience. You throw them in brainwashing camp called boot camp. You may scare the bejeebus out of them, let them know that you own them. And if they get out of line, you're going to be punished. Once again, about control. See, this is where military has to actually get brave and grow some gonads and be willing to buck the system. And you have to buck the system in mass droves. We need the majority of the military just standing down. Well, but they'll court-martial and lock us up. No, they won't. If the majority of you stand down at the same time, they ain't going to do squat. That's what they're going to do about it. Nothing. It's like if your city orders you to lock down again and shut down your businesses. You don't comply. You all go to your businesses, open them up anyhow, and everybody still goes to work as normal, and everybody's just non-compliance in mass numbers. When that happens, guess what? They can't do anything about it. Where do you think they get their power from? From us. We keep giving away our power. When are you going to stop giving away your power? And if you stay divided, you'll always be giving away your power. You can't be up here competing against each other because that's what society told you had to do. That's called giving away your freedom. That's called giving away your life. If you're in that in a big of a hurry to die, well, please just go jump off a bridge, go put your head on the track and let a train run it over with you. Don't be dragging other people down with your cowardly, scared ass. Because it's going to take real men and real women to fight back. If you got to put on that diaper, you've already lost. You're not a real man, you're not a real woman. Because that diaper ain't protecting you from nothing. It's being used as a symbol of submission. That's what it's about to them. They're laughing at you. Look, these people is submitting. Look at them. They're submitting left and right. They're doing whatever we tell them to do. Oh, this is awesome. We got them. I knew we had them where we wanted them. That's what they're telling themselves. They're telling themselves every day as their eagles gloating. And while their eagles gloating, this is what's going on, man. It's what it is, man. I think we need to create little mini rolls of toilet paper. We'll call it face wipe. When you take off your diaper, you can spray some sanitizer on your face and you can use your face wipe and wipe it and flush it, okay? So instead of butt wipe, it'll be face wipe. See, you have to have two of them now. You have to buy a case of mini rolls of face wipe and carry one with you everywhere you go, man. You know, when people stop complying, and you can get masses doing this, and I'm seeing some of these clowns on YouTube who are sound asleep, and you get some gal or some guy who refuses to comply, and you're calling them a Karen, that they're out of their mind. No, the people doing that are refusing to comply ain't out of their mind. Not at all. They recognize what's really going on and refuse to comply. And you people, you think you're calling them a Karen and mocking them? No, you're an idiot. You're the reason this shit's gonna get by. They're gonna get by with it. You're complicit with your own demise and dragging everybody else down with your dumbness. That's why it says there's just too many people that are too stupid to be alive. And I hate to say that, too stupid to be alive, but it really comes down to that, doesn't it? Yeah, I like that. My graph just fell completely off. It's what I talk about. See, you know when you're hitting real truth because you watch this graph up here, you can tell it. So you go from way up here just below the 20, zero, and clear down to zero. All because I brought up something that the algorithm don't like me talking about. That's because it would be truth. They hate truth, don't they? Yes, they do. Sick parasites hate truth. Truth hurts them. That's right. They're offended and hurt by truth. But you think truth hurts you? You keep living your lie. And you're going to find out what really hurts you. Because it's going to be your lie that you're living that's going to really hurt you. Then you're going to want to trade back for the truth, but it'll be too late. Because you'll literally be too stupid to be alive. It's just sad when I see this kind of stuff. Yeah, that person's gone. I don't play games with people who want to come in here and troll because that was just deliberately said. They were having fun. This is all a game to them because they're that out of their damn mind. So you see, I took them out because they deserved to be removed. They asked me to, really. They begged me to please throw them out. So that's what I did. Don't worry, I complied. You've been removed. Do you like that? Yep, I sure complied with you. Because she ain't taking anything I'm saying seriously. I'm dead serious. And no, that clown ain't taking nothing serious. All a game to him. They're a product of the social engineering. They are going to be responsible for so many people dying and so many lives being destroyed. And I'm sure their selfishness, they don't have no care. I mean, I'm sure their selfishness runs them. I mean, it's just pathetic. It's sad. We shouldn't even be where we're at, but nobody cares. Nobody really actually cares because they've been so brainwashed, so deluded their entire life that they think it's normal to not to care, that they're supposed to only care about number one, themselves. And they're not going to give up on that because after all, they know it's all about themselves, right? Right? You know it's all about yourselves, right? That's why this stuff ain't going away. See, they have no reason to stop now, man. They're bringing it in and they're going to get by with it, and there ain't nobody going to do anything about it. You're going to get phonies, and you're going to get a lot of phonies. Okay? And that's what I would call a high impact flicks. Brian Young. He's Alex Jones Jr. He's not here because he really cares, and don't let him tell you he really cares. Click on his more. Underneath any video he posts up, click on the more and pay attention to what's underneath that video. You'll see he's only here for one reason. He needs the bankers' money while he pretends to complain about what they're doing. But he don't never really mean it now, because to mean it means he wouldn't be able to have their money, right? He's not smart enough to get together with people off the streets. People started getting together and coming together and start standing up, because that's what it's going to take on a global scale, is all the citizens standing up and throwing their middle finger in the air and telling these fucking criminals, F you. Non-compliance, military and all. Then if you're going to turn a gun anywhere, you turn it right back on the 13 families and you work your way right on down the line. And all these people that thought they were getting super wealthy, are going to get super behind bars. The system has to be changed. There cannot be competing against each other. It has to go away. You don't belong competing against each other. This is not, life isn't about a game, a sport, and arena. And somebody else's entertainment off of doing wrong onto another human that they wouldn't want done wrong to them. Because you want to have your little ego trip. You want to have your power boost. You want to think you're above somebody else. All of that has to go away, and it has to go away forever. If you stand a chance at all, you got to first grow some balls and clits and start standing up for yourselves and looking out for everybody around you and standing up against the people that are doing this to us and going after your 13 families and removing them and taking your monetary system away from them. And everything they got from it, they stole. They don't get to keep anything they've got. It's all given back to the people, right where it rightfully belongs. Military industrial complex, sorry, there ain't no military no more because you never need one to begin with. Abolish the military worldwide. Military isn't there for your defense, it's there for these bankers' gain. You've been lied to, you've been used. You're pawns. Get off the damn chessboard. You're not a pawn. You're a human. Climb off that chessboard and put a stop to this crap. Now, you just named two agents right off the bat. Alex Jones, Lou Kudowski. Yep, and Soros. That's right. You're naming the people that are all freaking part of it. Oh, don't think we are changed. Lou Podolsky is a good guy. He's not. He's scum. I don't care if I attract their attention. I already attracted their attention a long time ago. I would have had half the stuff happen to me if I hadn't already attracted their attention. Worried about attracting their attention is that's a sign of a coward. I've heard you need to be a coward and don't attract these people's attention. I heard that you need to hide behind a rod or a rug, hide behind the corner, and shiver and shake. And that's how I feel about that. Yes, controlled opposition, but understand this. These people at the top are getting their power from the people. And they're keeping that power by scaring the kajivas out of you so that you comply to their wants. You have to stop complying. In massive numbers, we have to stop complying. You have to recognize who really has the power is the people, not them. Never has been them. Okay, well, but that's really them words come across as that. Not that you are, but them words do come across as that because that's really what it leads to. Think about it. You can't get people to do the right thing because their television set told them so. And then you got the other reason. Oh, they want to fit in. They're afraid what somebody else might think about them. And as long as it's just like it's no different than using the wording that's freaking helps to change your perception into a belief system that's fraudulent, and then you can program your own self through that into believing something that's fraudulent is real, and then you bark and scream and yell and fight to keep that lie alive because it's the only thing you believe in is that lie. What do you think happens when you start using sexual marketplace and supply and demand? Division. Helping to keep the gender split up. Not knowing what the hell you're talking about. Well, but that's just the way it is. It's that way because you all accepted it, dummies. Quit accepting lies. Start realizing men and women alike are both human beings. And it's all been programming with primary and secondary victims pitted against each other. Just like the races pitted against each other. That's where we're at. Races are pitted against each other. We're all pitted against each other. We're all fighting one another. You're not paying attention to what's going on around you. I showed you the other day the bill 1154 up in there in the House. When you read through what I looked at, I supplied a link to you. You realize they're moving after your First Amendment right now. And I don't see anybody else exposing that. I don't see anybody else continuing to talk about that and make sure they keep pushing it so people actually see that's what's really taking place. Why is that? You're just going to turn your back to it and let it happen. That's why. Because people want to turn their back to it and allow it to continue to happen. I don't want it to continue to happen, but it's going to take people standing together. It's going to take numbers, and you can't get the numbers when you're all too busy competing against each other and all believing in a lie. You too damn people are too damn lazy to look into anything. People want to believe what other television set tells them. I mean, as long as this shit continues, you've all lost, man. If you have to put on that freaking diaper to go shopping, you lost. You're a coward. You have to be willing to not put the diaper on. You have to be willing to roam in there where they say you can't be without the diaper. You need to freaking get a hold of as many friends as you can and all meet in one place and walk right in that damn store without a diaper on your face, one right after another. Fill that store full of people who don't have a diaper on their face. That's correct. A long, long time ago. I can't argue with that. That's correct. Nope, won't argue with that a bit. Government's been taken over a long, long time ago. It's nothing more than a corporation. Trump's nothing more than a CEO of a corporation in bed with the bankers. That's really all that is. That's what all your governments are. And your leaders of the governments. They're corporation. They're CEOs of corporations. Their bosses are the bankers, the people who own the monetary system. Why do you think I said you had to start with third families and you got to take away the monetary systems from them? You got to give the monetary systems back to the people globally. You got to abolish governments completely. You got to lock people up that are complicit and been involved in this. If you think you got some leaders at the top, you put yourself four in a big country, two in a little country that are monitored by the people all the time, by the people. You got to give everybody the same amount of income, regardless of what they do for a living. You got to make sure it's a really generous income, which means they can live a good life and never have to worry about an issue. If they need to get a new vehicle, they got it. They need to get food, they got it. They need this, they got it. In return, everybody works together. People wouldn't have to work long slaving hours. If everybody worked together, man, people could work around the world 4 hours a day and be done. And as long as everybody worked together, you could accomplish something. This world don't have to be the way it is. It's that way because we've allowed it to get that way. Because we've allowed other people to control us and tell us. We allowed them to set up a society that was based on competing against each other. And we willingly step on other people. We walk on their face and kick them while they're down and get our power trips over it. We get more of the tool than somebody else, and we have more of the tool than we could ever spend our entire lives. And you'll watch your entire country with hundreds of people who are homeless and can't even feed themselves. You see nothing wrong with it. It boosts your ego, huh? Look at the homeless people in California. Tent cities, up and down sidewalks, under bridge, everywhere. People working full time and can't even afford to freaking have a roof over their head. Having to live out of a tent or live out of their car because they can't afford to get someplace. How'd that happen? Well, how'd that happen? Because we were all busy competing against each other. Because we were all about selfishness. Because we didn't have care for anybody else. That's how that happened. Sad. It frustrates me to no hell. I'm telling you, it just frustrates the hell out of me. How we sat here and let it get this bad. And how we still do nothing about it. And they've proven that. They shut down your society. They shut down job after job after job everywhere, worldwide. So many little mom and pop stores and businesses gone forever. People losing everything they ever worked for, just like that. while the people who done it to us are getting richer and richer. It just pisses me right off to no end on how people got so damn stupid. See, this self-centered selfishness has to go away. If you're not going to make that go away and you want to continue to compete against each other, then you are responsible. That's who you want to be. You be that person. But you're going to be responsible for every child that lost their life. Everybody that dies from this, you're responsible. You helped bring it in. You complicitly, willingly went along with your own enslavement, didn't care who you drugged down with you. Sad. Disgusting. And these so-called technical crats. You mean psychopathic crats? You mean dummies? Self-centered, selfish dummies? Who don't realize once these bankers get their wants, these dummies are through using you, they're going to exterminate you too? You're going to be at the bottom of the coffers with the rest of us. Sure, they're going to allow you to have a good life while they're busy using you to get their freaking plans off the ground, but once they got it all off the ground, it's all over with for you. You technical crats will find out you are perfect fucking little patsies. A whole bunch of you sat next to each other looking at that picture. Money, 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 money. And yeah, they paid you a generous amount to get you to turn your head blindly and look the other way and do what you're doing. And you willingly done it for that tool. Now, I know there's probably be a few people up here on the tubes that are going to be mad because I mentioned Rev. Michelle Hopkins, Rev. Michelle Mann, and Nancy Morganhart are one and the same. And they are. It's one and the same person. Freaking employees of the establishment up here using the good book and manipulation. What do you think Roy Potter does? Uses the good book and manipulation. Go back to the days of Kathy Rubio when I was speaking up then, and you'll get to realize real quick. Oh, Mr. Roy Potter, he was on the run from the feds. Yeah, he wasn't. It was all a show. And of course, you saw nothing ever happened to him when he was running from the feds. And of course, nothing ever happened to him because he wasn't running from the feds. Just like when Montygraph had his little online video war against Rev. Michelle Hopkins, who's now his best buddy, who frequents his chats on his live streams, Nancy Morganhart. Same person. I don't care what she tells me. She knows she's the same person, and I know she is too. See, that's what you call a scoundrel. That's what you call a manipulator for money. For the tool. For their own selfishness. That's somebody that actually don't take the good book for real because they're using the good book because I know this is another controversial thing I'm going to say. It isn't that I don't believe in we have a creator, but the official story that's been handed to everybody, not put together by the elite, by the bankers, by the 13 families. That's the reason it's never been removed from hotel rooms. Oh, but they went after places of worship. Well, of course they did, because they're, you're in the fourth industrial revolution, which is part of bringing NWO. And in the fourth industrial revolution, all of your belief systems are going to be changed. Everything is. They've set up a one world religion. And that is the religion they want for the entire globe. Nope, there'll be no more Catholics and Christians and Protestants and Jehovah's Witnesses. No. No, there won't. There will only be one religion, and everybody will have to believe that religion. That's where they're taking you. And you say, I'm full of it. Well, let's just think about something. If man would kill their very own creator's child, that's right, if man would kill their very own creator's child, then man would sure to hell change the creator's words. Now, wouldn't they? You're dang right they would. It's called using critical thinking skills and common sense. And if you can't apply them two equally together and you claim to be awake, you're not awake. Nope, you're not awake at all. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm putting common sense to what's been told to you all right in your face. When you use cop outs to go around it and say, well, it still has to be, it's because you're not practicing critical thinking skills. You're not realizing how far this goes, how deep they've went. It's always been about controlling the masses. Always. A handful of people lying their tails off who have access and control over everything. Why do you think Zachary Hubbard couldn't get his book published? And he had to do it online. Because they only allow people to publish that are already in bed with them. Just like actors in Hollywood. They didn't accidentally get to be an actor. They were chosen. But you can't see that, can you? You think your television was brought to you for entertainment when it wasn't. It was brought to you to brainwash you, and they done it. Because they used entertainment to brainwash you and you fell for it. Yeah, courts are. They're fake as fake. Think about it this way. You got a justice system that says we have this many laws that are wrote in legalese, but you're never taught legalese and you're not taught the laws. And then every year you pass more laws and more laws to go on top of laws, that more laws to go on top of laws. And every bill that's ever wrote would be 1,000 pages long, 800 pages long. You could have wrote what the bill was going to be. The law could be on one paper, and you had to have 1,000 sheets or 800 sheets. Why'd you have to have so many? Because within one law, you hit a bunch of other laws behind it. You passed that on one point, and it was 20 laws in one bill, 100 laws in one bill, and you only got told about one of them. And the rest were passed in right under your damn nose. You know, you cannot be held accountable to uphold a law that was never taught to you. You can't be told ignorance of the law isn't their problem. It's your job to look it up when it was wrote in legalese so you couldn't read it. You're not going to take 7 years of law school to read how to read to learn how to read legalese just so you can look up a law. They know that. That's blatant entrapment. Right in your face. And just you got none of you got any problems with that, huh? Nope. None of you got any problems with that. Just like your house. Spend 30, 40 years making payments to a damn bank on your house. It's paid off now, I own it. No, you don't. Yes, I do. I paid it off. Well, don't pay the property taxes on something that didn't belong to somebody and watch how fast somebody that don't own it will be there with people with guns on their side to take it away from you. Because you didn't give somebody money that had nothing to do with the purchase of it. Nothing to do with the building it. You could buy a piece of land, you could buy all the lumber, all the supplies, and store it in a freaking shed or whatever you build on your own property and build that house. And once you're done building it, it belongs to the county now. So what if they didn't put the work into building it? So what if you broke your butt to buy all the materials and worked the job to get the money to buy the materials? So what if it took you 15 years to get it all together and built? on the land that you bought and paid taxes on. Once it's all said and done, it don't belong to you no more. You paid the taxes on all your supplies when you went through the checkout line. Now that you made it into a livable place, they want to charge you taxes on everything you already paid taxes on. And they want to claim ownership to something that was never theirs. Well, but see, that money goes into the infrastructure. It does. Is that why my city is asking for the state for money to fix roads? So where's all the tax money from all the homes going then? Oh, to make some scumbag richer? That's right. Do you see how they pulled the wool over your eyes? Can you understand that? Can you see that? If your property taxes was really keeping up your infrastructure, then you'd have the money to fix your roads, wouldn't you? Well, of course you don't, because you hire more than people that you don't need that you pay out of that money. You give yourselves raises and promotions, and before it's all said and done, none of that money from taxes is left. So there was no money to go back in the infrastructure. So you lied to everybody. Right in your face, lied to everybody again. That's what we do best, isn't it? Lie, 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 another lie to cover a lie, another lie to cover that lie, another lie to cover the next lie, another lie to cover the next lie, and on the lies will go. Get mad at somebody if they lie to you because speak out, you want them to tell you the truth. Then if they tell you the truth, you get mad at them for telling you the truth because you don't want to hear the truth. That's what you call the definition of insane. A nut job. Insanity. You can't have both. It don't work that way. But people keep going down the rabbit hole. They fall for every illusion that's given to them. It's like telling people how you studied New World Order for 20-something years and how awake you are, and then turn around and say, well, I'm voting for Trump. That's not awake. That's somebody who lied to you. Both-facedly lied to you. Tell you they studied NWO for 20-something years. Ah, okay. Oops, been kicked out of my own room again, right? Yep. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. It says viewers will experience buffering. There we go. I think they're getting mad at me now, huh? So they're inventing a reason to make sure that you can't get my stream in too well. Yeah, I thought I'd read that to you, okay? Is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth stream. Well, that's a crock of shit. That's another lie. That's what you call censorship. So if I start buffering, it's because of the topics I'm talking about. Remember, you're not supposed to be hearing anything that sounds like real truth. Because the Lioncrats are at it again. Yep, the Lioncrats. We're all worried about that picture you see right there. That's all they're worried about. Well, if it starts buffering, you'll know. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing right in my face as this popped up. Open widget. Error. Oh, poor streaming health. Yeah. I'll bet I do have poor streaming health now. I accidentally said one too many things they don't want you people listening to. That's about normal. But hey, I got up here for a while. It'll take probably 17 hours or so before this video will show up on my channel. Of course, until they remove my channel again for telling truth, right? Isn't that how they do it? Yeah. They figure I end the stream and figure that it wouldn't matter if it was a 10-minute stream. I could do a 10-minute stream that would take 14 to 15 hours to go up on my channel. Unless you got a phone, you could get to my channel that way. But if you're on a PC, a laptop, or a computer, it won't show up on my channel unless you're out of country. I know this because I've already been down this road for a little while now. This has been going on with every time I do a live stream, this shit goes down. Okay, it will not show up on my channel for hours from now. I can get the link, and then I have to go to Facebook and post it up, and then I have to freaking open it up there and then click on the like on my own video to have that thing show up for anybody to see. It's pathetic. It's just a way of messing with me is all it is. You know, they can't handle truth, so they got to mess with me some more. And I'm sure they're probably not happy with me for calling Rev Michelle Hopkins Rev Michelle Mann and Nancy Morganhart one and the same, because they are one and the same people. It just shows how fraudulent they are. They got to use many names. And they got to use the Bible. And they got to use their religious talk to send you down a rabbit hole. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's what Roy Potter and Rev Michelle Hopkins and Kathy Rubio, that's what they done. This is what they do. They deceive you with the Bible as they're working for the establishment. It's pathetic. It really is. But anyhow, I guess there's no more to say. I got my little rant off me for right now. You know, I'll come back up again when I feel like ranting again. But with that, guys, I'm getting out of here. You have a good one.